Hello and welcome to Panic in the Warp Core. My name is Chris.
And I'm Chip, and in this episode we're covering Enterprise, Season 1, Episode 3, Strange New World, where the crew, they find a habitable world, decide to take a little shore leave, and as some of the crew members decide to spend the night, they find out that the planet is not quite what it seems.
Okay, as Chip said, this is covering Strange New World, not to be confused with Strange New Worlds.
I did read that the title is kind of a play on Strange New World, the mentioning in the original voiceover of the original
Strange New
series.
Worlds
And they also talked about, it's a reference to Brave New World, the novel by Aldous Huxley, where most of the population is drugged. So,
well,
which kind of plays into this.
It does. Why don't we jump in and see what's going on? Yeah.
All right. So I did read something sad about this character. So it's Elizabeth Cutler was the character played by Kelly Waymeyer, and she was supposed to be a returning character, but the actress had a undiagnosed heart condition and passed away in 2002.
Oh my gosh.
Cardiac arrhythmia. So she only appeared in 3 episodes, but she was supposed to be in a few more.
That is sad.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, she looks fairly young here, so...
Yeah. And I feel like I've seen her in other things. She looks familiar.
Yeah, I know she was on an episode of Seinfeld, but I don't know. I'm sure she did other stuff too.
Yeah.
Before this, but...
It's kind of fun how, like, everyone's, like, crowding the viewports. It's like, hey, they found this world that looks like the one we came from.
Yes. And this is our first reference to why they call him a Class M planet. Did you know that?
No?
When T'Pol says it's a Minshara class planet, it's the Class M. That's where the Class M comes from.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I feel like, once again, like last time I was saying how they're just, like, quick to just jump in.
Mm-hmm.
And, T'Pol's like, Vulcans would, like, send some probes down and, like, do some very thorough scans and things like that. And it would take 6 or 7 days.
Yeah. They're like, well, the air's breathable and we can go down. So it's got an atmosphere. Do you think the bridge is kind of like the kitchen in like a house where everybody just kind of goes there and hangs out?
I think it is, yeah. Because, Phlox was just hanging out last time. Tucker shows up way too frequently.
Yeah.
And she's like the stern mother who just has to deal with all of it.
I know. Look, I mean, she's just got that disgust. Like, oh, come on. This again? You stupid humans.
I guarantee at this point, she's not even surprised anymore. She's just like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah. They're going to go down there. Something's going to happen.
It's like,
I mean,
hey,
She does decide to stay with them down there this time.
Right.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But... All right. Here's our faith.
It's been a long road.
God, the song's going to be... Is it the song get in your head even when you don't hear it? It's
yes.
just like you see it. And it's
yes. That's because it becomes a part of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this one I like. Like last time it was like a horror, and this is almost like
this is more psychological
paranoia, suspense / thriller almost.
Yeah.
So I like that they're starting to play around with like some genres and subgenres and just trying different things.
So the one this one really reminded me of was the X-Files episode I don't know if you remember, it was a field trip where Mulder and Scully are, what was it, I can't remember, they're investigating some thing, and they basically get their minds warped by a fungal spore.
Gotcha.
That's, they're living this whole life in their heads, and so that's what this one kind of reminded me of on the surface. But
there was a TOS episode where the crew got infected with some spores too, I think.
The Naked Time. And that's when I made a list of some.
Oh, okay.
So the Naked Time was one where there was an alien virus transmitted, and that's when Sulu had his samurai or his katana out.
Yeah, okay.
And Spock was all emotional and
technically,
weepy.
I think it was a fencing saber, wasn't it?
Or was it? Maybe it was an épée or whatever they call those, or I'm not sure how you say it, but then they kind of revisited that in the Next Generation.
This is funny because she's like, "Thank you so much for picking me," and she's like, "You had the qualifications.
Yeah, you were qualified for this, so."
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude that
I would love to see if there's outtakes of, because sometimes the Jolene Blalock had to crack up at some point during filming, or trip or do something stupid, or
I'm sure like blooper reels and stuff like that are always super fun to watch because
especially when they're trying to talk technobabble and do a bunch of all these words that really don't mean those are the hats. I do like those hats.
I do. I have one. I think I probably said that in the pilot when he had one on when they were doing the ship flyby. But there's a site called cellgeek.com.
Cellgeek?
That was selling them. I think they're the old Anavos hats, so they must have gotten some of the old stock when that company folded. Notice that they don't have any landing struts.
Yep.
The belly just
Porthos gets to run.
And again, is this a good idea?
Yeah. He's going to, if he's a male beagle, he's going to go mark some stuff. So it's really his planet.
Yeah.
Now. It's
Porthos planet.
Yeah. But actually, it becomes named Archer 4. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I saw that in some trivia, too.
Okay.
Let me see what it said here. It says in a Mirror Darkly Part 2, which was a 2005 episode of Enterprise, Captain Archer's bioscreen reveals that this episode's unnamed planet, the first visited by Enterprise in XL1, was later named Archer 4, a planet originally mentioned as the site of a battle between the Klingons and the Enterprise D in yesterday's Enterprise from 1990.
A Mirror Darkly is their Mirror Universe episode, isn't it? Okay.
Yep. So I thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I do think they should have named it Porthos, though, now that you say that, because I'm sure he just went and took a big whiz on a big tree. And...
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Got to mark his territory.
Yep.
And this looks amazingly Earth-like.
Oh, yeah. Almost like they filmed it on Earth.
Right.
Except those don't look like species.
No.
They look kind of like long tadpoles or
weird minnow things.
We don't have two moons.
That's true, we don't. So clearly they did not film this on Earth.
No, they must have found a Class M planet somewhere.
Okay. So
here's where...
him smelling the flowers is where this whole thing starts.
Yeah.
And I think I missed that when I watched it the other night. I must have been I don't know, doom scrolling on my phone or something. I don't know.
That's easy to do these days.
It is.
Yeah, the hopeful nature of Star Trek is just not really encapsulated in the real world right now.
It is not. You're correct.
But...
which is why this is a great escape tool.
I know. And I'm glad we're doing this. But yeah. You can tell all these Earth guys are just like, this is great. This reminds us of home. Let's have a camp out.
Well, and T'Pol's I want to stay down here, and Archer's all like, huh? See, I told you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this one's funny because it feels like, the Archer's always been kind of the center of a lot of the stories so far, but it's really not. It's much more Tucker or Trip.
Tucker and T'Pol, and yeah. And he gets a chance to really do some acting in this episode, which is really neat.
Yeah.
So.
And I always like it when they let the Vulcan characters kind of show some different emotions that
yes,
they don't normally get to do.
Yeah.
But again, with the Vulcan physiology, it doesn't affect her as quickly, so
right.
she's able to figure out what's happening to them and figures out what they can do to counteract.
So they've got fireflies here, and Travis is telling ghost stories because what else are you going to do around a campfire?
That's right.
And you think T'Pol's just listening and being like, you guys are idiots. You guys are frickin' idiots.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like in, was it Star Trek V when Kirk's climbing El Capitan and Spock's kind of like, why are you doing that? Because it's there.
I know.
You don't realize the gravity of your situation.
Right. Now that I caught the flower sniffing, I'm going to be looking for, like, his first sign of, like, excessive paranoia.
Yeah.
And, like, starting to freak out.
Wasn't it when they decide to go to the cave when the storm starts to roll in is when you start to really...
I think so.
That's when they think there's
but
I
was wondering if maybe there was a little bit of foreshadowing.
There could be. Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I like how they just happen to have, like, the camping gear with them. The pods just have tents and ingredients for s'mores and things like that.
And, like, the outdoor cookware and utensils and... I guess that
they look like nice tents.
Yeah. Some of the props they sold from this episode included the camping chairs that they're sitting on.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
You too can own a chair that Trip Tucker's butt touched.
Yeah. Where's DePaul in this scene?
She was, like, off to the side, like, studying
there she is.
her...
Yeah, she's doom scrolling.
Her tricorder or something.
I think she's doom scrolling.
They don't call them tricorders yet, do they?
No. It's some sort of a device like that, though.
Yeah.
But they've even got, like, the little coffee mugs and...
Oh, he gets a headache and he goes and lays down.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, they just found their star, didn't they?
Yeah.
The sun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Soul. All right.
Oh. There. Did you see the extended eyes closed? Like, oh. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that sometimes.
It's true. I felt like that this morning. Only
I didn't most mornings.
I didn't go sniff alien flowers.
Yeah. You sniff glue or just...
No, I didn't sniff anything.
It just happened. Yeah, here's like, I kind of get a headache.
Like, do you need to ask permission to go to your tent?
When you're having a camp out, I don't think so.
Or were they supposed to, like, do some work scanning at a certain point? I don't know.
I feel like they're kind of almost on shore leave at this point. Where
I think Mayweather and Tucker are.
Yeah.
And I think the other two were helping T'Pol with whatever she wanted to do. So
here's where the kind of storm starts to roll in. And it's funny because this one you're still not quite sure. The first time you see it, you don't know what's really going on. You think, oh, maybe there's some violent storms that are gonna, they're gonna have to deal with through the night or to survive the night. But they decided to go to the caves. I forget who found. Was it T'Pol that found the caves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's where the paranoia starts when she was there visiting the rock people and.
Oh, see, he's starting to freak out now.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody out there, I think he said.
Yeah.
And she's just like, this is really going to put a damper on my research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this part.
The bug.
I hate the bugs. Like, that is like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bugs.
It looks a little bit like the bug from Wrath of Khan that they put in the...
She's just like, what the heck are these idiots doing?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, are you all right? I really should try to 3D print one of those communicators.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I want to do an Enterprise cosplay for GalaxyCon in September.
Oh. So, is that the one here?
Yeah. Yeah.
They got a pretty good lineup, don't they?
Frakes, Brent Spiner, John Delancey.
Nice.
Plus the voice actors from the Clone Wars for Anakin, Obi-Wan, and then Ashley Eckstein. So
Ahsoka, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hey, you
think
caught
fast.
the ball.
I bet did he say think fast? He should have.
I don't know.
Do you see the Zephram Cochrane statue behind him there?
Oh yeah, there it is. Yep.
I think we talked about that in a prior episode, and there you can really see it.
Wonder if there's a 3D model of that. We should print it out.
Yeah. And
have it proudly displayed in the space.
Like right behind you almost. You could.
Okay, now we found the caves.
And caves are always kind of creepy.
Here's the thing. Like, why would you go in an unexplored cave?
On a planet that you really don't know.
Doesn't seem like the best bet.
And why couldn't they send the shuttle back down? Was it the weather?
They tried, but
the weather was too...
The winds were too severe to land it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and they don't have transporters yet.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
Here come the hallucinations.
Yep. Well, doesn't somebody go back to the camp to get something? I thought Trip does at one point.
Yeah.
Or Mayweather does.
Mayweather does, like,
and thinks he sees...
food. I think they forgot the food, which is a strange thing to forget.
But it's a good plot device to get him to go back. So here he is. Yeah. This is research to think that he's seen. And you wonder if the winds kicked up more of that pollen.
I think that's what they said near the end of the episode after you figured out what was going on. It's like, oh yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. And as somebody who suffers from allergies, I can completely understand that.
I can too. Yeah.
Dust and wind, it just gets to you. Especially this time of year.
Yep.
As we're filming this in April.
You know, I really like Mayweather.
Yeah, he's just kind of an understated character.
And underutilized. I think. Like, they have an opportunity over 4 seasons to do a lot with him, and I don't think they ever did.
It's a good point.
There's somebody out there. I saw 3 people.
Mm-hmm. Their flashlights look like normal flashlights.
They do, yeah.
Which, I guess, I don't know how much you'd really...
Earlier, Tucker pulled out his little camera and took a picture of the landing party.
Yeah.
So
they obviously didn't have cell phones.
Right.
In 2151.
Is this where he sees the thing come out of the rock?
Yeah, here's where he thinks he sees the rock people, right?
And then he, like, runs out of the cave.
Yeah. Those lights obviously aren't LED lights either, but...
No.
So they didn't really predict the future, but... But still, I mean, the lights work. And they actually have a lantern there, too.
Yeah.
All right, gotta get the phasers out.
Perfect. Let's arm everyone before they go crazy.
Yeah.
This is a great idea.
Yeah. It always is.
See, and here's something that doesn't make sense to me. T'Pol's like, hey, you stay here all by yourself. I'm going to go over here and look at this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you should not split up like that.
Oh, 1 phaser left. Isn't this where she thinks she sees T'Pol talking to...
I think so, yeah.
Conspiring with the aliens.
Yep.
Or the rock people.
At least they went out together.
Yeah.
Although... Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's
There's
what I was
rock
waiting
people.
for.
There it is.
So, and watching this through, I was like, okay, like, is there actually something there?
Yeah.
Like, are they actually not alone?
Yeah, the way they filmed it and the way they set everything up, you're kind of like, you're not sure yet what's going on.
Yeah. And I think that plays to the strength of the episode, too.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it could go either way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Star Trek. It could be hallucinations. It could be aliens that you just can't detect.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that X-Files episode I mentioned earlier that they go through the whole episode and it's like this whole storyline that ends up being all just in their heads because they didn't know. You didn't know they were hallucinating.
Right. Well, I gotta tell you, I love like windy evenings like that.
Oh, I know. I love a good
just like
stormy
going
night
out and just being in it. But I have a feeling they're not having a good time.
Well, it's different when you're at home and you know the terrain.
That's true.
I suppose when you're ingested the pollen of strange plants on a weird planet that you've never been to before, could mess you up. It kind of does.
Clearly.
Oh, we forgot to look up the insignia on her collar.
We keep forgetting about that, don't we?
We'll have to do that.
I'll do it right now.
All right.
Otherwise, I will forget.
All right, so they're back with...
Clearly, they didn't find their wayward crewman.
Nope.
T'Pol's rank in Enterprise is Sub-Commander, which is a rank in the Vulcan hierarchy. However, her rank is often compared to Starfleet ranks, where Sub-Commander is generally considered to be equivalent to Commander in Starfleet, not Lieutenant Commander, as some sources suggest.
All right, here's where they try to come down on the shuttle.
Yeah. I was looking for a close-up of it, but I don't think I'm going to succeed.
But it is a rank insignia, is that what?
Yeah, I think it's...
We think. I mean, it makes sense.
Sub-Commander, I would assume.
A Vulcan wouldn't wear jewelry just to,
Well, I mean, maybe.
I'm guessing it is. Hopefully, if somebody's watching, they can let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Sure, there are a lot of people out there smarter than we are.
Most people. At least smarter than me.
Yeah. Don't sell yourself short.
I'm not short. I think I'm above average.
You dad joked me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It is a talent. It is a skill. Not everyone has it.
I'm not as good as Brian, but...
That's true.
He's the master.
So I forget what they're doing here. Like, what's the conversation? Is like the female crew member like saying, "Oh, she just talking to some aliens."
I think that she was accusing T'Pol of talking to beings in the cave.
Just generally sowing mistrust and things like that. Yeah.
And here's where they're trying to get out to the shuttle, but the shuttle can't land.
I like the fact that the most experienced pilot is Archer.
Yeah.
Because of like just his history of like testing like the warp engines and
with his dad and all
things like that. So that's kind of cool that like he's the one that can do this stuff. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good time to land.
No, looks like the wind shears or something from a... Oop, watch out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how they're just like all standing there waiting, and then the shuttle just turns around and leaves, and you're like, wait a minute, what the heck?
Hey,
we gotta get out of here. Bye, guys.
We'll be back.
You forgot something. Yeah, well, I mean, it would cut the drama short if they were able to get him off at this point. So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess there's that.
That's true. All right, so back to the caves.
Yeah, so like, does T'Pol, is that like her hair at this point, or is that a wig?
It's a wig, from what I read.
Okay, so but the fact that it stayed on for that whole windblown scene is...
I think they probably glue them on pretty good.
That's probably true.
I'm pretty sure it was a wig.
I was thinking so, but...
I wouldn't think that would be her normal hair.
No, like, you'd have to get paid a lot of money to do that to your hair, I think. Tucker's looking a little rough.
Yeah.
And I think as kind of their psychosis progresses, they all continue to just look a little bit more rough, and I think that's a good like visual indicator of kind of the mental degradation.
They're starting to lose it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the first verbal showdown between these two in this episode. And the tension, it's kind of good character development because the tension's been established in prior episodes already that they're not quite sure about each other. But we know where they end up. But
definitely not besties.
No, not yet. Yeah, and even just the lighting and the camera angles change too. So you see a lot more where they're looking up at the characters and the eyes are, kind of down and
like his head's dropped and
he's kind of got the what is it? The
it's,
Jack Nicholson eyes from The Shining,
confrontational, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Archer calls and T'Pol's like, he's pointing a phase pistol at me. But like, man, this is... I like this. I think I like this better than Fight or Flight.
I do too. I think when I first watched him, I liked Fight or Flight better, but the more I've watched this one and the way they structure it and build the narrative, I like the way they did this one better.
I also like how they don't use the transporter unless they don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
And I like how this doesn't go well.
Well, it shows that it's still an emerging technology.
Correct.
And they're still figuring out how to use it and what they can use it for. And,
Oh, that just looks uncomfortable. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, they never did show us what happened in the motion picture when they had the transporter malfunction, but
that's okay.
Based on this one, you can assume that it was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's where Trip gets to really emote.
Yep.
And do some acting.
Yeah. And like he's doing a great job of like with body language.
Yeah, just
showing
he
that
just
he's
looks
like,
unstable,
right? Yeah.
And just like the head nod, and he's just kind of all over. Thank you, sir.
We drained it.
All right.
Well done.
Little Romulan ale. They haven't even met the Romulans yet here.
No.
There we go with those camera angles.
Well, and like, so obviously you've got the main confrontation set up between these two, and like Mayweather and whatever her name is, Cutler are just like kind of off on the side.
Yeah.
Like not getting agitated, more subdued.
Yeah, they're almost more like, on a buzz, like, ooh, whoa, is this happening? What's going on? Is this where he's yelling
at the rock people?
Yeah.
And now she's starting to feel it too.
But she's aware of changes that are happening where the humans are weak and dumb and
facts.
Don't really know.
The effects that they use in the rocks are pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and in an episode like this, you wouldn't have to have them be perfect because it's what they're seeing. So it just might be like a blurry thing on the rock that...
Well.
Ooh, those are cool PJs.
Those
almost look like snakeskin.
They do kind of, yeah.
Or maybe they're like a Denoblian snakeskin. But
man, can you imagine the medical procedure to remove all of that?
I bet Phlox had fun doing it.
Probably.
He probably enjoyed it.
He probably thought it was fascinating. Like, don't get me wrong. He's not like all about inflicting pain.
No.
But like...
But he's not against it.
Like the science and the medical
that takes precedence.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to go back and just look at his eyes in the pilot because I don't feel like they were that blue.
I would agree. Yeah, we'd have to go back and look, but I don't think they were. And it's funny, in some of these series, how you can see how the makeup has developed over time.
Like they change a thing here and there.
Yeah.
And,
they tweak some things here, like the Klingons.
Well, look at Spock from...
in the cage? Or the...
No,
that one.
The one with Gary Mitchell, where the
original pilot, or
it's not the original pilot. It's the one where Gary Mitchell becomes like a god, and like Kirk has to kill him on the surface of the planet.
Yeah,
but like I feel like Spock's hair and like the way he emotes and holds himself, like he hadn't quite figured all of it out yet.
Yeah.
But we're only 3 episodes into this, and so I think it's really just a learning curve. Some things you can explain with the story, like after season 2 of Next Gen, Riker kind of underwent a little bit of a change. Like obviously he grew the beard, but like he also like that's when he started like playing the trombone and doing things like that because Roddenberry was like, got to do something to make yourself a little lighter and a little more human, and so
a little less serious.
Right.
Why so serious? All right. So is this where they're starting to figure out that there's something on the planet that's affecting them?
Well, yeah, I think Phlox figured that out when he examined Mr. Transporter accident. Oh, yeah, that's completely normal.
Yeah.
That's how we are after drinking a bottle of Romulan ale.
Yeah, I've seen that effect before in real life.
I don't like it.
No.
And so now
I don't like it when stairs do that, when you're looking at them and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can even walk up those. Right?
So Tucker looks like he's perspiring almost now.
Yeah.
So like, and she's clearly affected now.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like she's trying to like just... Oh, she's speaking Vulcan now, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, and he thinks she's communicating with them, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He really does a good job in this episode.
Yeah. You think it's got to be fun for an actor, though, to have a chance to play just completely off the rails.
Yeah.
To go, Jack Torrance in The Shining.
Like, you got to think about this, like, from the perspective of T'Pol. It's like, do you think, like, how many times a day do you think she regrets her decision to stay on the ship?
Yeah.
Like, all the bullshit she has to deal with, like the prejudice and the bias. Like,
yeah, because it's really her and Phlox are the only alien species on the ship, right?
And, like, they get steaks and she gets little salads.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, now we get into the...
Yeah.
Probably not a Mexican standoff, but what would you call it? I guess there's not 3 people involved. It's really just a...
4 standoff?
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. Well, they've got the meteorologic... Fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah, they're looking at the storm.
Yeah, that one.
Meteorological.
Thank you. Show off.
Yeah. I try.
Oh, he looks somber.
Yeah. I like Phlox's delivery, too. Just the way he speaks. And
yeah.
I don't know. That actor's just so good.
He is.
What do you say, Ethan?
Fantastic. Ethan Phillips. And I think I mentioned in one of our Broken Bow episodes that he was in an episode of Criminal Minds.
Oh, really?
And, like, he was, like, the bad guy that was doing stuff to kids. And it's like, he was 100% creepy believable in that episode.
Yeah, I know I've seen him in some other stuff, too, and he's always been good. It's always fun when, just an actor finds their niche in the Star Trek universe and really finds a character that they inhabit. so well.
So what I didn't like about that right there was that, like, Phlox is like, well, if I had checked this, I probably would have figured out something was wrong, but there was no reason for me to check this. Like,
yeah.
I feel like as the captain, your job there would be to say,
hey,
it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do that.
No.
So, uh-oh. Those two are fading.
Why are they fading so much and
I don't know.
Trip hasn't?
Maybe
he had ADHD
were
that was
they
undiagnosed.
Exposed sooner? Or maybe with the greater concentration?
Could be.
Like, she didn't go back out into the storm.
No.
Mayweather did.
Yeah. Because Tripp and Mayweather went out at the same time, so.
Yeah.
And it could just be maybe his physiology is just different.
That could be. But, you know,
he almost looks like a cocaine addict.
I was going to say,
he's kind of like grinding his teeth and
like
messing with his
he's
jaw.
going through like withdrawals or he's high or something. Yeah. I was going to say something, but I lost it.
It's coming back to you.
Nope, not at all. Oh, he's trying to talk Tucker off the ledge here, isn't he?
Yeah, they're.
But
he's trying to reason with.
Once again, Hoshi has a part to play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can like see the perspiration now. I have a feeling like if he was, like, he's been up and moving and agitated, and the other two haven't. So I wondered like. If he would stop moving.
It could be adrenaline too. That he's like on a.
He's
like on a high or a manic high almost. That he's so paranoid that he's just on edge and can't shut down and.
Well, and I like what Archer does here because he's like, okay, I'm gonna need to save everybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to have to Paul shoot Tucker to do it, basically. Mm-hmm. So I like the subterfuge because I think it's necessary for the safety of the crew.
Is this where he makes it sound like T'Pol's on some mission that he'd given her that...
Yep.
There's the rock people.
Yep. And I wonder if, like, what Archer is telling him is just, like, feeding the hallucinations that much more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the way they filmed it, it makes sense that, you know, he's almost planting those seeds and.
Yeah.
And Tripp's seeing what he's feeding him.
Yeah.
But that's a good captain, though, that can think on his feet and.
100%.
Come up with.
Yeah.
You know, a way to diffuse the situation without losing any.
Right.
Or potentially
losing somebody's going to get stunned, but...
Yeah.
And this is a better option than trying to beam them up.
Yeah. Exactly. But this almost goes back to the classic episodes where, you know, when McCoy comes up with some serum that will...
Oh, yeah.
You know, cure whatever's ailing them.
But I think it kind of ties into, like... what Phlox found when he figured out that crewman was dying. He's like, oh, if I had seen this 2 hours earlier, I could have done something, but now it's too late. So I think I think there was like a precedent to like him being able to synthesize something.
Yeah.
Once again, loving the bridge design.
I like how Archer just stays fairly calm under pressure. You know, he's not...
Yeah.
He's emotional, but he's not losing it. He's not...
Right.
You know, freaking out. He's not happy about it, but...
That's kind of the hallmark of most of the captains we've seen, though, right?
Yeah. Which is why they're the captains.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he, like, practices yoga and meditation to keep his cool.
Maybe.
I probably would. Otherwise, I'd be like a stress ball.
I think he just goes and he pets Porthos.
Mm-hmm.
For his stress relief.
That might be, yeah. They say having a dog decreases your stress and anxiety considerably, so...
Yeah. Do you think Porthos was affected by the spores?
Only if he sniffed a flower. He probably just peed on him.
Yeah, he probably... Maybe that diffused it for him. And
there you go.
Who knows? But at least Porthos got a scene, but, we don't see him again this whole episode.
Yeah. Yeah, so... I don't know. I just keep coming back to how well Tucker, the actor, I don't remember the actor's name, but how well he did in this episode. Like...
Yeah, this was almost like a showcase for him.
It was. And I think it was a turning point for the character, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think this kind of helped him settle in and really kind of understand the character more. And,
yeah. Yeah, here's where they're feeding the lions, right?
I think so, yeah.
See, basically, she's on this secret mission that you didn't know about.
Right. So, but really, Hoshi, just tell to Paul that we beamed an inoculation down and you're going to have to shoot Tucker.
Yeah.
So, like, with her degradation, like, she started speaking Vulcan, but...
There's some subtle...
Is she still able to understand English at this point?
It's a good question. I don't know. But I thought there were some subtle just clues, just her facial expressions and body language, too, are there that you can see that she's not quite right.
Yes, definitely. It's also nice of her to take care of everyone else first and then herself. Which is apparently the opposite of what you're supposed to do in an emergency.
Yeah, you're supposed to, put your mask on first.
Oh,
there's the first Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yep.
Well, not the first one we've seen, but in chronological order, it's the first one that's happened in the Star Trek universe that has been witnessed.
There we go. Sweet relief. So, like, do they just, like, fall asleep and then in the morning they're going to feel better?
I don't know. Is it like an allergy shot?
Takes 20 minutes to kick in.
I mean, Tucker expended so much energy there. He's got to be just exhausted.
And dehydrated.
Yeah. That was nice of Paul to give him something to drink.
It was.
Do you think she stayed up and kept watch all night?
Probably.
Be the Vulcan thing to do.
Knowing her.
Yeah.
They always profess that they can go days without sleep.
Yeah. I've tried that and it doesn't work.
No. I also wondered if there was something in the inoculation that maybe knocked him out for a period of time. I think
so. And with her physiology, maybe it didn't affect her.
Yeah. Like how now he's just got that perpetual confused look on his face. He's like, what the heck just happened?
I forget, how much do they remember of what happened? Is it pretty
I was trying to remember that too.
I thought it was kind of fuzzy, wasn't it?
I know he'd asked if she shot him.
Yeah.
But as far as like what they actually can remember, that's a good question. And like, is Cutler gonna remember that her buddy
went crazy
and is dead? Did she know? Did they know? I don't even know.
I don't know. And again, Mayweather is just kind of underutilized.
Exactly. He's just kind of a body.
He kind of got to take a nap most of the episode.
It's true.
After he came back with Tucker.
Yeah. Is this where they start to like kind of...
I think this was kind of the first seeds of, hey...
Maybe you're not so bad.
We do kind of... We're compatible.
Yeah. Oh, is this where he's like, man, I have a headache. What the heck happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's so pretty out there.
It is. Those must be all the flowers that cause the problems.
Mm-hmm. What was the other? There was another original series episode where they were on some planet, and I know Spock's like started playing music because the spores of some flower.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. That was Strange New World.
Yeah. So what do you think on this one?
I'm going to give this one 3 pips for me. I would say the build-up and the way they kind of kept you guessing through most of the episode as far as like what was going on. There were some clues, right?
Yeah.
You know, the crewman like sniffing the flower, which I missed on my first watch. But I feel like the tension, just some of the deliveries were really spot on, and like, you know, like I think you said earlier, it's like this is not an Archer-centric episode, and I liked that. So,
yeah, and I like that too. So I'm actually going to go with 3 pips as well.
Oh, okay. We'll just leave that
this
up
one. So yeah, might as well. So, but I agree that just the narrative structure, and I think it's good storytelling when the clues are there and you watch it the second time. It's like, oh, I didn't catch that, and
I enjoy.
You know, there's other series, shows, movies, whatever that I like on the second or third viewing. You're like, I never caught that. I never knew. I never noticed that little clue or that hint of what was coming. So
yeah. No, this was a good one. A lot of people, I think, have a tendency to kind of crap on the first season of Enterprise, but
I still feel like, you know,
it's solid.
The first 4 episodes now that we've watched, or 3 episodes, the 2-parter first.
Yeah.
You know, they've all been solid.
Yes.
And you know, when you put together,
things,
but even with like fight or flight in this one, it's not all about the fear. It's about how they handle it and how there's empathy with, the humans trying to understand the aliens, not just seeing them as an enemy and dangerous and all that. So, I think they take the trope and just twist it a little bit and kind of.
I think that's effective.
Have their way with it, Well, maybe not
in the decon chamber.
Well, it's going to happen at some point.
100%. All right. So that was Fight or Flight. No, that was Strange New World.
That was Strange New World.
We did Fight or Flight last time. Please, if you enjoyed this, consider hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, and if you are looking forward to more content as we release it, that bell notification will let you know when we do so. And lastly, feel free to hit the comment section up. What did you like about this episode? What didn't you like? Were there any hot takes that we may have made that you thought were preposterous? We'd love to hear it.
And they probably were. But... That's
true. We are regularly preposterous.
Or just dumb on my part. Like, I don't know.
Thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure having you with us. We certainly had a good time, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you very much.